Hello drone lovers, my name is KM. Welcome to my channel, KM Drone Stuff. Well, this is the Cygnet that fell into the sea, which I managed to fully repair it. I managed to fly 4 packs with this battery, the R-Line 750 mAh 4S. Finally, I found out the problem was the FC. Okay, what I did based on my previous video that I showed you, I changed 2 of these motors. Yep, these motors are from Raystar, and I changed the ESC to the King Kong brand, and it still didn't work. There was a couple of wires that broke off in mid-flight, and I had to solder them back. And I realized that for the VTX that is connecting to the flight controller, there were a couple of wires that had the poor dry joint due to the salt water, and also my receiver's signal broke off. The supply wire broke off after a while because of the corrosion by the seawater. But I managed to solder all of them back, connect everything back, and make new wires for some of them. And then I flew it. The last thing I couldn't solve is this thing. The video keeps on get cut off in mid-flight, and I realized that when I plug in the battery, sometimes it would reset by itself. I realized the problem comes from the flight controller, the old one that fell in the sea. And it had an intermittent contact to the ESC board. So the ESC board is at the bottom, and the flight controller is at the center. And there is a header pin that plugs into the ESC board. But that one had some intermittent issues, and it always gets cuts off. So I finally decided to buy a new flight controller, and now it flies so well. So after that, I put in the RPM filters and take it out for a flight. Well, before that, I improvised it by putting this credit card pad. Just get some foam with a original Gap RC battery strap, so that I now can strap on a 750 mAh battery, and also made this from foam to protect my battery in case I crash. So it's just something that I cut out from some sponge, which is quite tough, which you can actually put the battery inside this way. Okay, so that the cable comes out from the sides. Okay, like that. And then you just put it on here. Use the credit card to hold it down, and the belt to tighten it. And it's already secure, and you can just plug it in later on. So with this, you can see my takeoff weight now would be 227 grams, which is way below the 250 grams limit. So, well, enjoy the video of my first maiden flight after the plunging into the sea of my Cygnet CX3. Thank you. One more modification that I made, which I wanted to try out, since a lot of my videos sometimes show that the Cygnet actually crashed without any reason, fell from the sky. There are a couple of videos which I posted that this Cygnet fell from the sky because it lost the signal. I changed this. Originally these 2 antennas were straight, so there's no diversity. So I just modified it, put 2 cable ties to make it in a 90-degree angle. So that actually helps a lot. I could fly it much further now. Okay, Enjoy the video. Now you can see the Cygnet3 has been resurrected, and he is now able to fly like a new quad. Well, with this latest RPM filters that I have put in, I'm in beta flight 4.1.4 with bi-directional D-Shot 300, 4K and 4K, and defining a 12 pole motor for this quad. I'm able to fly this quite smoothly. You can see when it's going around the trees, it's pretty smooth, and the handling of the quad is also much easier now. You can see that when it's turning around the trees, it's pretty smooth and it's very easy to control. Maybe my skill is not good enough. I may not have stable hands, but doing the split S around the trees looks nice. I wasn't able to do a split S like that before. Well, it could be that this is due to the RPM filters, or it could be that I have improved. Wow, look at this hang time. I never expect it to do so well in this part of hanging in the air. Especially like the part where you do a reverse when you go between the trees, and then you turn around with a yaw and you let the quad just fly backwards for a certain distance. It used to be that this quad actually sways left and right quite a lot, but now it's with these RPM filters, I believe it looks good. After looking back at the video, I think it is now more stable. It doesn't sway that much. Also, previously I wasn't able to make this movement. I wasn't able to make this slow split S over the trees while looking down. Now it is so easy to do it. Well, you can say that it is due to my improvement over 3 months, because it was about 3 months ago that this quad actually fell into the sea, and I repaired it. This is the part I'm talking about. When you're flying backwards, it is so stable and it doesn't sway left to right like last time. Also, I want to say something about this camera, this Runcam Split Mini 2. It is so good, and look at the clarity. And don't forget, this Runcam Split Mini 2 has been in the salt water for 15 minutes. It took me about 10 to 15 minutes to look for my quad when it plunged into the sea. So after I found it and I unplugged the battery, dried everything up, this camera is still working. For this first battery, the flight time is not bad. It's about 5.5 minutes. Well, I hear that the RPM filters can actually extend a mini quad's flight time. Well, I'm surprised that I can get 5.5 minutes with this 750 milliamp hour battery. Currently, this receiver is still the XM Plus. It's the same receiver that fell into the sea and submerged into salt water for 15 minutes. Well, I think this receiver is still doing well. There's no lag or anything or intermittent faults. It seems that I could get a very good RSSI now. After I have change the antenna diversity angle to 90 degrees. You know, when you buy the stock Cygnet3, it comes with two antennas mounted on the arm, and the arm is, because it's an H arm, the antenna wires are actually extended parallel to one another, so that doesn't create any diversity, and I fail safe a couple of times because of this. Well, after the modification, it seems that the RSSI is pretty good. You can get 90% even at the second half of the field behind these trees. Well, don't look at the mAh value because it is not calibrated yet. And also I'm using a virtual sensor for this quad. There is no sensor built in. So everything is based on my throttle value from 0 to 100%. Also, it seems that the G sensor is not working. It is not like going beyond 2 or 3 when I accelerate up or down. It could be that because I have not calibrated the accelerometer, which I don't need when I'm doing the acro, when I'm running on acro. Okay, now I'm going to go to the field behind me where there are a lot of trees to test the VTX. So it seems that the VTX at this point here has a lot of breakup, and I was wondering why. When I went back to check with a power meter, I realized that my quad was set to 25 milliwatts, even though from the display it says that it is the highest power already. It could be due to the salt water that causes this problem, or it could be something else. See, when I try to set the power using the buttons on the VTX, it's okay, it works. It's only that when I try to use the RC tram to set it, I have this problem.
especially like this Split S. You can see how smooth is this quad now. Going over the trees and looking down and coming over the bottom of the tree trunks. Doing a power loop is also quite easy now with this quad. Even previously it was also quite easy, but now it's much easier. Well, it could be that the last time I always used a 3S battery, but now I'm using a 4S. This is a 750 4S 95C Lipo. Well, we're coming to a landing now. Looks like I'm getting about 5.5 minutes or so for this second pack. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope that you can also give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and do subscribe to my channel by clicking on the button on the top right. And if you see a notification bell, just click on it and you will receive more of my future videos. Thank you and have a nice day.